Now we're going to look at creating lights. And we'll start with the Omni light. This is the simplest kind of light. It has no properties belonging specifically to the Omni light class. As we'll see, it can have other properties that it inherits from superclasses. So here's how we create an Omni light. Just Omni light, parentheses, and hit the Enter key on the number pad. So the scene seems to have gone dark here. The reason for this is, let me just click in the viewport, hit H. Here's our Omni light that we just created, Omni 01. I'll select that. It's at 0, 0, 0 because we didn't give it any position. It took the default position. Well, that's the same position that this sphere is at. So the Omni light is right in the middle of the sphere. You can see it here. You can see the Omni light here, and you can see it here. So that's why the sphere isn't getting lit by the light, because the light is in the middle of the sphere. So here's another constructor for another Omni light, and this time we're giving it a position property. See if maybe we can get it outside the sphere, and hit the Enter key. So again, I'll click in the viewport, hit H. Here's our second Omni. Select that. Zoom extents. So here's our Omni over here, and it's well outside the sphere, and it's lighting up this side of the sphere. To create a target spot, you have the added wrinkle that you have to give it a target property. So you create the spot and the target at the same time, and you have to give each one of them a position. So we're positioning the spotlight at 200, 200, 200, and the target at 0, 0, 0. So let's give that a try. And I'll just zoom extents again. So here's our target spot, and of course the target is right at 0, 0, 0, right in the middle of the sphere. So perhaps I'll minimize this, and Alt-W. So there you can see the target, and there you can see the spotlight. Now, let's take a look at the names of these. We have Spot 01 and Target 01. Compare that to creating a target spotlight interactively. Just click and drag, left click, right click, and let's hit H again. We get Spot 02 and Spot 02.target. So this puts the light and its target right next to one another in the list of objects. If you want to do that with lights that you create, you can throw in a name property. So for example, here we are creating a target directional light, and we're giving it a name, MyDirect. And for the target, we're giving the target a name, MyDirect.target. Other than that, this statement is pretty much identical to this, except we're creating a target directional light rather than a target spot. So I'm going to click here, hit the Enter key on the number pad. And let's just hit H. So here we have MyDirect and MyDirect.target. And now I've got MyDirect selected so you can see its cone here. Now you'll notice that we created references to these lights when we created them. In each case we called it C. So right now C will refer to this target directional light. By the way, that means we can no longer refer to target spot because this C overwrote this C. So if we want to keep referring to the target spot, we ought to have used a different reference here. But we'll just refer to the target directional light. And let's go to the help file. So here we have some properties. These are actually properties of the target spot. We're working with a directional spot, but I happen to know that, for example, this show cone property holds true for the directional spot too. So let's use that. So right now we're seeing this cone because this directional spot is selected. If I deselect it, the cone does not show. And this is the default for a directional spot. The cone only shows when it's selected. So we type C dot show cone equals true and hit enter. And now that cone continues to show whether the spot is selected or not. So if you want to change anything about a light after you create it, be sure to create a reference to it when you create the light.